Hi, and welcome to potentially the first episode of an ongoing series that, well, I've nicknamed Idiot with a Halfords socket set. I don't know how often I'm going to be making these videos, but these are just videos that I'm going to put together for when I've got to work on my cars, just in case anyone who owns the same model of car finds this useful. Now, in this video, what we're doing is I have an intermittent boost issue on my Volvo S60 D5. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to look at trying to clean as much pipework as we can without removing it all, because as this is a Euro 4 engine, it's a little bit more complicated than the more simple Euro 3 engine. So let's take a look, shall we? Alright, so now we've got the bonnet open, and basically this is the D5 engine. It's a 2.4 litre turbocharged diesel engine. Like I said, it's the Euro 4 version, so it has a lot more emission stuff. The EGR valve is behind all of that. If I step it out, you can see why I'm hesitant to remove a lot of things, because it's got, you know, fuel pipes and everything in the way. On the Euro 4, you didn't, I mean on the Euro 3, apologies, you didn't have any of this here. It was just a solid metal pipe, so you could literally just unbolt it from the front of the engine and get to the EGR that's around the back of the engine. On the Euro 4, they've changed that, because apparently, from my research, this is the EGR valve here. So it said, well, this is the stepper motor for it, so it suggests that the mechanism is here somewhere. Now, I have spotted the EGR valve, to my knowledge, has never been cleaned, and it's got 130,000 miles on it, so it will be a bit plugged up now, I would suspect. So the plan of action is to remove this pipe here, which goes to the intake, and then scrape out whatever I can from this bit of the intake here. Remove the airbox, so then that'll give me access to that pipe there. Pop that pipe off, put something underneath it to catch any sort of runs or anything that come out of it, and then just try and scrape and scrub as much as I can out with a liberal dose of carb cleaner. So let's get on with it. Alright, okay, so one of the first things that's going to buy a D5 or a Euro 4 D5 owner on an S60, if they're not aware of it, is that's one of the ECUs for the car, but it's sat on top of the airbox. So ideally, what we want to do is we want to remove this. As you can see, it looks like if we remove the airbox, we'll get better access to that area. But to do that, we need to disconnect the battery first. So, as the battery's in the boot, remember to disconnect the battery before disconnecting this. You might not need to, it's just for safety's sake. And by the looks of it, if we're taking this off anyway, now would be a good time to give the MAF filter a quick clean to make sure that's okay. Alright, so there we go. With a bit of cajoling, the airbox comes out. It's literally just, it's not screwed down to the car, it's literally just clipped into these. So you can pull it out once you've disconnected the ECU from it. The boost controller, which is clipped onto the side, and the MAF sensor. Then obviously I've just took this shroud off, which is the air intake as well, just to give me a bit more space to work. But now you can see I've got easy access to this pipe, so I can take that off, and that's brilliant. Alright, okay, so what we've done is, thankfully I've managed to get a bit of help from my dad, because these clips that hold the pipe on were in the wrong place. Now, just something to make you aware, that's a difference between the Euro 4 and the Euro 3 engine again. This pipe here, that goes between the intake and the EGR, this, on the Euro 3, look, is rubber. But on the Euro 4, it's plastic, and it uses these rubber things here held on with clips to give a surface. Now, it is worth doing, because if I just show you the inside of the pipe, look, that's, so it's a job very worth doing. So what we're going to do now is scrape that out, degunk it, and we're also going to, with some carb cleaner, and we're also going to try and get in here and try and, oh bugger, that is far worse than I thought it would be, and try and clean that out as much as we can in there as well. Alright, just to give you an idea of how clogged this tube was, this is what we've got out with just a blade and a screwdriver. And this is just out of one little pipe. As you saw, the actual intake on the car itself is even more clogged, so we'll see what we get out of that. Alright, okay, so now what we've done is, because the starter motor's down here, we've put some cover on it and we removed the rubber bung so you can see just how clogged up it is in there. That's quite bad. So the only problem we've got is there's nothing really to catch anything here. So what we're doing is we're taking an old Halfords bottle and we're chopping it up to make it so it'll fit in this area here, so that we can literally just scrape all the gunk into it, because we're going to scrape as much as we can and then we'll use carb cleaner to do the rest. Alright, okay, so the Halfords water container thing didn't work as an idea, but we found that if you just use a normal water bottle and just chop it off, then it'll fit underneath the EGR pipe, not the EGR, the manifold quite well like that. So then you can just scrape it out and then just, you know, scrape bits of it out and then just lift it out to throw away as much as you can, and then just put it back and keep working. It just makes it all a little bit cleaner. Alright, okay, so after a bit of scraping, we managed to get a lot of it out now on this side. As you can, so it is looking a lot cleaner. As you can see, the other side's looking a bit black and gunky. That's because that's around the butterfly valve. That's where the exhaust actually comes in. So what we're doing at the moment is we're using literally some carb cleaner to try and melt the carbon, which it is doing a little bit, and then just an old baby's bottle brush to scrub it out. That is the long process, but access there isn't that good, so unfortunately it's the case of that's the only way to do it. Right, okay, so what we've done is we've been scraping out as much carbon as we can at this side of it. At this side, because the butterfly for the EGR is there, like I said, we just use carb cleaner and a bottle brush, and as you can see, it's looking a fair bit cleaner in there. It's never going to be perfect, but there's a lot less carbon. And on this side here, look, you can see metal again. So what we're going to do now is we're going to literally just get an air compressor and blast air through it from this side out, so it's going backwards to blast anything that's loose still in there. So that should clean it out, and then it's a case of reassembly. Oh, and by the way, to do this job, wear gloves, because quite frankly, it's messy. Right, now what we've done is we've used a little teeny tiny air compressor and we've blown through the EGR valve a few times, and this is on a mobile phone so the camera's not brilliant, but if you look, that's a lot cleaner. And if you look on this side, that's pretty much clean metal. I mean, it's never going to be, like I said, as it came out of, it's never going to be factory fresh, it's never going to look like as it came out of factory, but for a couple of hours playing around with the garage, that's not bad, considering we managed to get that much out of one of the pipes. All that gunk off the butterfly, that's just off the butterfly itself. Unfortunately, our plan to use the pop bottle didn't really work, and in the end we abandoned it and just let it all fall on the floor. Not ideal, considering it's my garage and I've got to work in here, but you know, sometimes one of them things happens.
And job done.
Alright, okay, so before we actually put this pipe that goes between the EGR and the intake manifold back on, we scraped out as much as we could, but we just figure we might as well give it a quick spray with some carb cleaner to let that eat through whatever carbon's left on it. You know, if you're going to do a job, you might as well do it properly. So what you can see now is my dad's just quickly spraying some in, and we're just going to let it sit for a bit in this lovely sun, give it a bit of agitation, and that should make it as clean as we can get it. Right, so it's now been done, and I didn't realise my face looked like this till I turned the phone camera on. Basically, the EGR valve's now completely clean. Well, it's cleaned out as it's going to be. The pipework's cleaned out. Took the car for a quick run, and basically the first time it came off on boost, it set off like, well, it went. I won't say like a rocket, because it's a 195 brake horsepower diesel family car. They don't roll like rockets, but you know, it pulled. I've noticed that it idles better. The engine is more responsive. Turbo lag seems to have decreased actually, but you know, for a few hours work, I definitely think it's worthwhile. I hope you guys thought this was quite useful. If you want me to start, if you're interested in these, I'll make them every time I work on one of my cars and post them online. Alright, cheers, bye.